name is Bonnie.
And I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Kathy.
And I'm Collette.
We are back from our summer programming. We hope you enjoyed our YouTube shorts, which revisited some of our previous guests. Well, today on the show...
Oh, Bonnie, can you just hold on for one moment, please?
Okay.
Okay. Be right back.
You guys know what's going on?
Maybe it's the age, the potty time, who knows, right? But I'll probably excuse myself in a minute too, okay? Come in. Can I come in? Oh my goodness! Surprise!
Hey.
Okay, I'm going to unblur my background so we can see each of... Look who's here!
She's really here.
Yay.
Yes, it's true. Kathy May is here in the flesh with us locally in Sudbury. Welcome, Kathy.
Good to be here with you.
Oh. And soon Carol Ann and I are going over to Collette's to visit her and Kathy. We are taking the show on the road for a live location at Collette's house for bread making.
Yeah.
Both Carol Ann and I have tried to bake bread based on Collette's instructions when we were at home. Carol Ann, how did yours turn out?
At bread making, I failed 7 times.
I tried, had no luck. So Collette said, "Oh, I'll make you the frozen bread, and all you have to do is bake it at home." I thought, okay. She said, "Oh, it's easy, Bonnie. Just pop it in the oven." I said, "Well, how will I know when it's done?" She said, "You will smell when it's done." So I put it in the oven. Okay, and I smelled it, but I couldn't tell when it was done. So I called her up and I said, "Collette, I can smell it, but I don't know if it's done." Then she told me, "Knock on it, Bonnie." Knock on it? Well, what's it supposed to sound like? She said, "Well, you knock on it and you'll know if it's done." Didn't work. So today we're going to go and see if we can improve Carol Ann and my skill. I don't know about you, Kathy, if you've tried her bread, but it's just easier to let her make it for us. So see you soon on the other side.
So the first thing you do is find a nice little happy, leave it to beaver kind of home thing of apron, and yeah, that's not what happens in the casa house. So no, my husband knows I've been baking when I have white marks right here. Okay, that's when he knows I've been baking. He'll go, "Hey babe, you've been baking, right?" And for our audience, I even washed my windows. Okay, just in case it caught the reflection, but it's very, no, I'm not going to say it's easy because I hear pushback. I'm going to open the can of carnation. I'm going to add 2 water cans after into here. Then I'm going to do half a cup of sugar. Half a cup, I like to melt my lard. You don't have to, but I do like to do it. And then I add some flour. I take 2 tablespoons of yeast and sprinkle it, mix it up. So I'll be doing that stage by stage, okay? So I used to do it all by hand. Yeah, smartened up there. I have nothing to prove, and neither do you guys. So my son got me this for Mother's Day one year, and I've never went back. So, and then I just add 2 cans of water. Okay. There we go. And then my sugar. And that is, I keep it in here because I use it so much, so I just, you know. And then I will do the lard, measure it out, and I'm gonna microwave it to melt it. And usually it's only like a minute. It doesn't take long, baby. But this one's shortening. You could use lard, shortening, whatever's least expensive because we're all on budgets these days. And this is the oil. And that's what it'll look like. And then you just pour it in. Okay. So please don't make me really measure, guys, but it's about 5 I put first. 5 cups. Okay. I just kind of lay it down and pull it up, okay? This is how I do it to make it kind of, yeah, I don't do that, people. But I'm doing it for you today. That's how much I love you guys out there. And if you think that you will make bread and not make a mess, yeah, never mind, okay? No matter what you do, even he spits at me. Okay, so don't worry about it. Clean up on all 4, 5, 6, and 7, Bonnie. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, okay?
So what kind of yeast are you using?
Quick
As a
rising.
dry?
Quick rising.
Okay.
Now I've made it with the other, but I like my time, so I use quick rising, so I don't have to. But if you do, you have to let it, you know, you have to put warm water, I do a little bit of sugar to activate it, and that much easier this way. So the salt, just a dash, pinch, dash. I'm serious though, you just like a little, I've not done it, but a lot of people like it. Now, I used to wait to do this salt later because it doesn't stretch as nice at first, but it didn't make that much of a difference. So. And at my age, I'm forgetting a lot. So better to do it right away. And then crank her up and go on the slowest at first because you'll be like in a cloud of glory. I'm sorry, a cloud of flour, okay? And then you work your way up, okay? If it's winter time, before I make my bread, I kind of turn my oven light on to keep it warm because that's where I leave it sit and rise. My son taught me that trick. I did 5 again, I believe. Do not go back on the editing and count, people. Take my word for it. If not, I will feel the difference because I've been doing it so long. Okay. And you'll know your machine after a while. Okay, so I'm just going to do a demonstration of what not to do, and I will call Bonnie to clean up on aisle 5, 6, and 7. Oh. You need to know I'm hyper. I think everything faster is better. I've had to clean up a lot. I did not put 5, I put 4. I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. But I've been doing it a while, guys. The reason why I started doing bread is because I enjoy bread. My family enjoys bread, but the reason why I started doing it in mass productions is because I like to go to my neighbors if they're sick with soup and bread.
And Collette, how many bread loaves are you going to make with this?
Depends if Colette's making 6 bread or doing a pizza crust with it or making cinnamon buns with it or making the bottom of my veggie pizza thing with it or making sourdough bread. Depends, but this should make 6 loaves of bread if you're just doing bread. But I usually do buns because my husband loves buns more than bread, and I will do bread too.
Is this the same recipe you use for your noodles?
No, but interestingly enough, people, individuality can look the same with the same ingredients because in my noodles is flour. The only thing missing out of my noodles is this because in my noodles is flour, oil, okay, eggs, and a bit of salt. And that's what's my homemade noodles. And you will get the recipe for that and some screenshots of making turkey noodle soup. You will see it's forming a ball, but there's some on the side, so I kind of pick it up a notch. When I start seeing that, I know it's almost ready. So if I kick it up a notch, everybody gets invited to the party and it catches all the little extras. Have a surface with the flour on it so that you can knead. Sometimes you get really fortunate and it just was one foreign ball. You have to do nothing further. But sometimes you just kind of blend it together. But see, there's some in the bottom. That's okay. I don't put that in. I don't, okay? If there's still some that didn't incorporate it, because it's when I see that coming up, I know it's thick enough. You don't want to do it too thick because it won't rise up. Who washed their hands?
I did.
Okay, so you can come here and feel, and then you describe it as somebody that hasn't done it before. How tense, how
This texture?
yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. It's it's heavy for one thing. It's kind of elasticy, but not really.
Yeah.
It's moist, but it's not sticky. It doesn't feel wet. It feels like I need to be much taller. Seriously? Okay. Oh my goodness. That's amazing though, because you touch it and you
It
think,
doesn't stick.
no,
Yeah.
it's not sticking
And
at
that
all.
coming, oh, do you like the look of this, people?
Yeah.
Expect it,
Yeah.
okay?
Have you
But I
tried
happen
it?
to be married to a professional janitor, so I pull a janitor card.
Oh.
Just teasing. But that, when I see that ball come, Kathy, that's exactly why I know it won't stick to my
No,
hands.
it's not sticking.
If you just need to really work out some frustrations, make bread, okay? Make bread because you really get into it and really push it around, okay? And then you're gonna make like a ball. You don't have to worry too much the first stage, but you see how it's kind of smooth here? Because the smoother it is, the less, how can I say that? It contains the yeast growth. It doesn't, so the smoother. I used to put wet, like a tea towel I had for bread, and I'd wet it and put it on. So I now buy these handy little things.
Shower caps?
Shower caps. Thanks, Carolyn.
There you go.
These.
What size?
It doesn't say, and that's the problem. It says one size, and even if you go like the other one, this brand literally will cover this. Other brands don't. Okay, so you'll be mindful of it, and they're great when you have leftovers, and they're great when you're making your cookie trays at Christmas. They're fantastic. See how it fits nicely, and yet has room for it to expand. Okay, so then you place it in the oven to warm. Now we're gonna cook it in the oven after, and I did hear that bread can cook in a clean oven just as much as a dirty oven. I've never tested that theory, but I heard that. So after about 2 hours, you will have something like this. And this is how much the bread will rise. And you like the rise because that's what makes it light and fluffy. And then I'm going to just separate it if it was for bread in 6. But we are going to treat ourselves and have what I call sourdough pancakes. But everybody else has different names for them, so stay tuned. So if you're doing bread, this would be 6, okay? You can weigh them out and make sure they're whatever, but I've been doing it so long, I eyeball it. You can weigh it out and split it up, but I just kind of do this because I know how much it'll be, which would be more than enough, actually probably a bit too much. And then you just fold it into itself, keep folding it into itself until you have a nice little loaf created for that. So if I'm doing buns, I know it sounds crazy, but I just kind of squeeze it and turn and then place. And then I squeeze and turn and place, and they become the buns. Get out your rolling pin, and you take a chunk of the bread dough. And you're rolling it out. Yeah, I know it has handles, people. I just don't use them. You roll it out. to about, what would you say that is, Bonnie?
Centimeters?
A centimeter. And then you're going to cut slits in it so that I fry it in the grease, and the grease can go between that and make it bubbled up, and you will see me cook it in a minute. Stay tuned. After you make your buns and you have them all on here, take a bit of oil. I put it in one pan, and then I flip all my breads in that one pan, but I also kind of paint the oil on the bread. You guys got to really get one of these. I didn't know that my life was lacking until I got one of these. They're great. And then you just do that so that when it expands, it doesn't dry out. If you don't do this, the bread itself will dry out and it won't be able to expand as much. That's why my buns are light and fluffy. The first thing you do is you get your cooking oil, you pour it in the pan, you warm it up. To test when you're ready to do the fried bread dough, which I call it, you just take a little piece and put it. When it floats to the top, you know it's ready to start cooking the other ones. So then I usually put it down to about 6 or 7 and then continue cooking. I take it and I place it in, and it'll cook one side and then the other side. Excuse me. Sorry. I left that little piece under there. There we go.
And how long does it take, Collette?
Depending how, do not go too hot, guys, because it'll cook on the outside and not rise it to a nice fat little thing. It cooks and then the inside's still doughy. So you got to be careful of your thing, and it takes about, you'll see it go brown. And I know I should say a timing, but you really can't do it because sometimes my stove gets hotter sometimes than others. I don't know why, it just does. So I'm not sure if you guys have the problem like that, but we do. So I just kind of peek under it, and when I see it starting to go golden brown, then I flip it. And you will see it bubbling in between the little slits. That's why you're doing it. See how it bubbles in between? Now you can do little sticks if you'd like and just do cinnamon sugar on it. And that's lovely too if you're having somebody over for tea and want something really fast and you just made bread and they're just like showing up at the door, you can make that too. And then you flip it and then you will see it goes about, oh my goodness, at least twice the size, if not 3 times the size of it. And then I'll show you when it's done. I'm really not into aprons, but when frying the bread dough, I would suggest you wear an apron because this grease does sometimes kind of splash and it can ruin your clothes. Now, if it happens, put some soap and talcum powder, like baby powder on it, squish it down and it'll suck up the grease. Usually I can save them, but if I'm really messy, rag pile. I'm getting too real with my kitchen, aren't I?
Yeah. We are ready.
Oh, it smells heavenly.
Ta-da!
Oh, look at this.
Again, this works in a clean oven. It really does, I've been told.
Oh, Levi wants to taste.
Okay.
Wow, so
Bonnie was teasing me about the knocking. Yes, Carol Ann, you got it. If it sounds hollow, see, that's hollow. The other one, Kathy, do you think you would have had any sound with that other bread?
nothing.
Nothing, except ow.
Yeah.
Right. That's the knocking. And then you kind of shake it, that loosens it. And then you just flip it. You can leave it dry. Or you can put it in the foil. Do not put it in plastic, it'll sweat. And it'll make it rubbery.
So you have to wait till it cools.
Yes, before you put it in plastic. Yeah.
So Carol Ann, do you think you can do this now on your own?
But you know, it won't be needed anymore.
Okay, yeah, we'll just depend on you. No.
Thank you.
All inquiries may contact recoveringyourvoice@gmail.com.
There you go.
Okay, so I blurred my background. There we
Oh, you're totally blurred.
She blurred too. Ooh, she
felt like-
disappeared.
go. I felt like Casper for a moment. Okay.
So, Recovering Your Voice would like to thank you for opening your home for us to be filming in your home today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
Aww.
I love you.
Just tell us what you're using there.
Okay, so that's where I'm lacking specific instructions for ingredients, not a dash of this, a clump of that. Okay, sorry guys. 354 milliliters. So you do it, and then again you do it twice. And I'm sorry, but I failed math too many times and went to summer school. You do the math. I've sprayed my top cover, stovetop cover, and killed two of them because going overflow, even though it had the whatever. So here this doing housework can be dangerous to your appliances, people. You can say you heard that on Recovering Your Voice.
There's like
Bloopers!
That's perfect, blooper.
Excuse me, what do you think of these lovely food that your wife has made for you?
They're so good. I love cookies.
Oh yeah, that's Cookie Monster. Look at the size of those buns.
no.
Thanks.